Hello everybody, and today I'm gonna try to discuss and show a bit about the unload stations. Now I have obviously run this before, I know what's going on, but the setup is the following. The setup is, first of all, let me go to that, thank you. I've made unloads typical, nothing to do with anything, they don't do at all, no controls whatsoever. It just comes in and unloads itself. And of course I've run this so that that is already booked, but you know, some say that matters anyway. Well, with that enabled, these guys here will load off and they should all just leave at the same time, which is exactly showing that the trains are fine and working as they should. So we have this going on, and this is what we expect from just our trains unloading. Now what I want to see is them behaving the same way, and so far they do. We see them unload the stations, everything is fine, they get destroyed here. This is creative mode, so that's why. We are running at close to 180, so 3 times is fine, and we are starting to observe the problem with unloading the stations. These lights represent the contents of the chests. Every chest has its own lights connected, and every maximum is 2,400 or 2,400, and we see that the product that we are unloading is accumulating in the center. Whatever else goes on the sides doesn't really have time to go away. So here we have 70 and 40, here we have 1000 already. And that is what I don't want to have. And they all behave the same way. The problem is there is no, this is just doing it 4 times, so you see that it is reliable, the data are reliable, and we don't have any way to do something else about it. No. So let's go now to do something about the train unloads and how it does. Same exact configuration. Now this is a little bit of a counter though as well, because I've set up a counter system so that when it passes through here it counts how many have passed, stores them, and I can check how much it has stored. But that's the everything has this. That's an important thing. We have 4 different methods of trying to regulate our contents in a station. Method 1, we have a simple arithmetic combinator. It counts all the contents of the chests, divides them by 24, and it gives you the C as an average of what exists inside. Then when it goes up to the unloader, it checks to see that it checks the contents. Every inserter has connected to its respective box. Whatever box is here, it's gonna load, that's what's connected to, nothing else. And it says that it will only work when the average is over what the contents are. So if the contents are less than the average, then I'm gonna load it. If the contents are not less than the average, I'm not gonna load. So that basically tries to see that if this chest is more than the average, it will not be loaded. That's method 1. Nothing else going on here. Second method is going to the other side, not to the unload of the train, but to the unload of the chest. The theory being that, if I balance them out that way, I will be able to just pull things out in a balanced way. So maybe that will be a better way. We'll see. Same exact theory. Divide that, check that the inserter is now, we have more. If I have more inside of the average, then I will pull inside the belts and go there and consume them, whatever I want, and they're gonna be counted. Now the others is something that I've been using a lot in my own run so far, and for some reason they have prevailed as the main thing to do. This is basically saying that if you're empty and everything else is empty, because I'm counting everything that it's holding. So if all of the inserters are holding something, then you don't work. So basically it's given an opportunity to go and work when all of them are empty. They can go and grab things and they will move, but then they will not move again if it's empty, if it's not empty. So, you know, it creates a coordination effort between them. So they will only work on certain conditions. So that means that they should work exactly, you know, pulling the same time. They will be pulling again and again in a uniform motion. So they're not pretending to move whenever they want to. So if they here above it's coming from the same source, why should I want to keep this like that? They will be loaded exactly, they will be pulled in a uniform fashion. So the only thing that really might be problematic is that they don't communicate to each other. We'll see about that in this situation where now all of them are connected, and again all of them are waiting until they're empty to work again. Once again, we'll be counting the boxes, but also be counting the first to 20,000. The first to 20,000 is also fast. Maybe that's also got something to do with it. Who knows? Of course I know, and I'm just setting up the experiment. So now they are being loaded, and I have a second train here for reasons that will become clear in a bit. So they've come. We're already pushing through. Excellent. We're starting to see some things. This is constant, these have gaps. We'll see though what happens. But see, everything left and that stayed. And that's why I have this, because this actually has a very nice behavior of not allowing me to unload it fast enough. I have to create pressure to build it up. So we're seeing what happens now. This already it's built up very nicely and uniformly. Great, I like it, but these start to bulge a bit, and they now have a second line of bulging. It's starting here, it's dropping here, it's dropping. It's not really doing what I thought it should be doing, is it? And it keeps going on like that. So this now has done its thing. This still though. This is half full. These are going to half, not full. So what I'm gonna say is that this failed because it creates bulging. I don't like this. This is uniform, but it's using too much. So what's happening elsewhere? We see from the lights that they may be the same, kinda. It's missing that, but it's got this. Now it's got that, but that moved on to there. This has 12. This has 10. This creates also a pressure here. These are far behind. We don't even talk about that. These failed completely and utterly. Especially when we start filling them completely. This cannot even manage that, but this will start. See, these chests have now stopped working as much. The side ones work better. Let's go back to 1 for this. The side inserters move much more than this, because this has 4.2, this has 4.7. It has created a bulge, which we don't like. These are not bulging though. 4.8 all over. And it's even maxed out. It has filled everything. This hasn't filled everything. This is a 3.5. But already this has moved more material than this has. This is moving more. This is filling these belts better than this is. For whatever reason. So because of this, that method actually wins. Having this over here being balanced on top, unloading from the cart to the chest, both maintains balance in the chest, across the chest, and produces a far better flow inside the belts to be moved. Now we can do this another way. Let's try, where am I? Here. Load this once again, but now I'm gonna go destroy the single train, the train that follows up, and I'm gonna show you why I have this second. It's gonna be the same result, but it's just gonna be a little bit more pronounced, and I wanted that second result for reasons that are gonna be apparent. As I said, I needed it. Why did I need it? Because actually the first one unloads from the chest so fast that the train doesn't even have time to fill most of it. It creates a different kind of gap, if you like, but only when it starts missing a lot of the material from the belt. So, start it. Let's go again to 3. So it's moving a little bit faster. Right, and we're here. Here they come again, same thing as we know. And it's coming in. We see the gaps in the bottom ones, not gaps here. That's why this wins. Now, it's gonna be a little bit more pronounced in some things, a little less in others. This goes away. This not yet. So this already tells us that these are faster than these. But here come they, because they are faster than that. Remember, this, for some reason, it doesn't unload, not for some reason, we know exactly why, because it's trying to balance itself a bit. So it doesn't unload as fast as the other inside the chest. But this creates a greater flow here. So if you have more trains coming in, that solves it. And that's why I use 2 trains. With 1, again, it's at the bottom. It doesn't do anything. But this already starts filling up. Despite this filling up, and this being faster and this fills up, more trains come in and unload, less go inside the belts. So this is why this is left behind. The lights here, this is more. It's moved to more material, 8,000 now, while this is still at 7. And it's gonna keep on going like that, but this will never actually, with 1 train, this will unload too fast. So that's why I use 2. Already by the time it's left, it's almost empty. 300. It's unloading first on the outside. I'll show you why. These are unloaded at the outside, that's why. This doesn't unload balanced from everything, but if it has from everywhere to unload, it creates something better. So it takes a little bit more time to unload, but this is full. Now we're approaching to 15,000, while the other's still at 12. And they're lagging behind. So, this doesn't create a buffer with 1 train, so use more trains if you want. There are conditions in vanilla even that you can set up. You can disable or enable that train by what the content in the chest is, and you can set the limit, enable train limit, so you can do whatever you want, send 2 only trains in it. There's a lot of things to do, but this is getting ready to finish. It's just reached 19,000 and the others are not even over 15. So that's all I wanted to show you today. I will be moving on to my own factories obviously with that method. And let me remind you what that method is. You just don't bother with that down there at all. You set up all the connections in you connect all the boxes together. You send them into an arithmetic combinator. You divide by how many boxes you have. You output something. And then you tell the inserters that unload from your cart that if that something is more than the contents of the box, whatever those are, then work. And that to me is the better unloader. So that's all I want to say to you. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, keep safe.